Padres Postgame Show on the Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shilt's postgame comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
1-0, and Fernando hits it in the air to deep left field. Rave is back at the wall, looking up, gonna go! 3-run homer for Fernando Tatis Jr. His 14th of the season, and the first one in a long time. As Tatis gives the Pods some late-inning breathing room, it is now 5-1.
Fernando Tatis Jr., his first home run in a long, long while as he leads the Padres to a 5-1 win against the Kansas City Royals in the middle game of this three-game series on this Saturday here in downtown San Diego. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Hey, player, the Jamul Casino Resort is your place with a Lux Hotel Tower opening soon, new dining, and a long list of amazing amenities. You'll have more ways to play and enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Padres get a real nice 5-1 win to even up this three-game series at a game apiece. Lot to do on our post-game coverage. We have a full game recap for you, and we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit. Padres improved to 41-35. Royals dropped to 38-39, and the Padres will now have an opportunity to win this series tomorrow. Few things here right off the bat. Dylan Cease, a big part of tonight's win. 6 2/3 innings, 1 earned run given up on 3 hits. And then the Padres had a 2-1 lead. It seemed like forever in this game. And then it was Fernando Tatis Jr., bottom half of the 7th inning, steps in a 1-run game, 2 on, and Toddy goes deep, a long home run to left field. And you know that had to feel really, really good for Fernando Tatis Jr. Ended the longest home run drought of his career, his first home run since May 27th against the Marlins. So it had been nearly a month since Fernando hit a home run. We know he's had some struggles in the first half of this season after the super, super hot start. But, man, what a big swing from Fernando, and hopefully that gets him going in the right direction in the power department. Speaking of Fernando, I talked with Fernando Tatis Jr. on the field right after today's win.
Fernando, let's start with the home run. You come up in a big spot. After you hit it, you look up towards the sky as the bubble comes crashing in. You look up towards the sky. Describe your emotions in that moment.
Just happy. Happy it happened, Been struggling with people on base, but, we keep grinding, we keep putting stuff at bat, and, it's baseball.
In that spot, it's a 1-run game. You have an opportunity to almost put the game away with one swing. What was the significance of finally getting a home run in that kind of moment?
It's huge. It's huge. This is what we need as a team, to give a break to our bullpen. They must need it, and they've been working hard, so just trying to grinding for my boys.
You mentioned the pitching, Dylan Cease, absolutely terrific. The bullpen great as well. What did those guys do so well today?
Lights out. When they're on like that, it's really good to play behind them. And, like I said, we're grinding together out there in the field.
Fernando, great job today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That was Fernando Tatis Jr. right after this 5-1 win for the Padres against the Kansas City Royals. Pitching staff really, really solid. Dylan Cease will talk plenty about what he did. 6 2/3, really strong innings. Jeremiah Estrada, Adrian Morejon throw up zeros out of the bullpen, and the Padres get enough offense for a while. They didn't do a lot offensively in this game, but hey, when you hit 3-run home runs, that makes life a whole lot easier, and the Padres get one of those in the form of a Fernando Tatis Jr. 3-run blast in the bottom half of the 7th inning. When we come back, we'll recap this game in its entirety. We'll go downstairs, hear from Mike Shildt coming up a little bit later as well. Padres win it against the Royals 5-1. Our post-game coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park as we continue our post-game coverage. We'll go back downstairs, hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, get to your phone calls, and much, much more to come. But first, let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Our starting pitching matchup today, Royals rookie left-hander Noah Cameron on the mound for Kansas City. Padres right-hander Dylan Cease on the mound for San Diego. Both guys threw a scoreless opening frame. Cease worked around a two-out walk in the second. In the bottom half, Gavin Sheets hit a leadoff double. Xander Bogaerts singled. That sent Sheets to third base. Jake Cronenworth then hit into a fielder's choice. That scored Sheets. The Padres led 1-0. But the lead was short-lived. Drew Waters hit a leadoff single in the bottom half, or I should say to begin the third. That brought up the number 9 batter for Kansas City, John Rave.
Over. 2-1, lined into right field. That's a base hit for Rave, and he has found the gap. Fernando tried to cut it off, but it ends up rolling to the wall. Waters rounding third on his way. He will score an RBI double by John Rave to tie this game 1-1 in the third.
But the Padres answered in the bottom half of the inning. Cameron walked Martin Maldonado and Fernando Tatis Jr. with 1 out. That set things up for Luis Arraez.
So 1-1 to Arraez. Hit on the ground up the middle. Long way to go. India not going to get there. Rolls into center field. Maldonado rounding third. He's going to come in to score. The throw has no chance to get him. RBI single Luis Arraez. And the Padres back ahead. It's 2-1.
Cease took that 2-1 lead, and he ran with it. He worked around 2 base runners in the fourth. He worked around, or I should say, he worked a 1-2-3 fifth inning. He worked around a 2-out single in the 6th inning, but credit to the Royals rookie Noah Cameron. He was keeping the game at a 1-run deficit. He got through 5 innings and a third before the Royals bullpen finished the 6th inning. Dylan Cease would get the first 2 outs of the 7th. He finished at a season-high 110 pitches, 6 2/3 innings, just 1 run allowed. Jeremiah Estrada got the final out of the 7th. In the bottom half, Royals reliever Taylor Clark on the mound. The Padres got back-to-back 1-out singles from Jose Iglesias and Bryce Johnson. With 2 on and 2 out, it was El Nino.
1-0. And Fernando hits it in the air to deep left field. Rave is back at the wall, looking up. Gonna go! 3-run homer for Fernando Tatis Jr. His 14th of the season, and the first one in a long time. As Tatis gives the Pods some late inning breathing room, it is now 5-1.
A big swing for Fernando, a 5-1 Padres lead. It was Jeremiah Estrada and Adrian Morejon combining for a scoreless top of the 8th inning. It was Morejon who stayed on for the top of the 9th inning. He got a ground out from Jack Caglione. Mark Canha popped out. Nick Lofton was the final chance for Kansas City.
1-0 from Morejon. Big crowd on their feet here in San Diego. And the pitch grounded up the middle under Morejon's glove. Backhanded by Cronenworth on the outfield grass. Long throw to first is in time. And that's all for the Royals here in the 9th. Padres flashing some serious leather in the late innings. And they got a tremendous outing from Dylan Cease. And a big home run from Fernando Tatis Jr. to put a bow on a 5-1 win over the Royals here in Game 2. A satisfying victory to set up a rubber game here tomorrow afternoon.
And that was that here today. Padres win the middle game of this 3-game series. Final totals for the Padres: 5 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. For Kansas City, 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors. Padres improve to 41-35. Royals drop to 38-39. A well-deserved win for Dylan Cease. He was outstanding today. 6 2/3 innings, 1 run allowed on 3 hits. A season-high 110 pitches for Cease. Noah Cameron took the loss. He was good today. He went 5 1/3, 2 runs given up, 2-3 now the record for Noah Cameron. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. The Padres win it 5-1 here at Petco Park on this Saturday. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park as we continue our post-game coverage on this Saturday. Padres beat the Royals 5-1 to even up this three-game series at a game apiece, and the Padres will now go for a series win tomorrow afternoon here in downtown San Diego. Much more on that game coming up a little bit later on. Padres got a big-time performance from Dylan Cease today on a day where they really needed it, considering how taxed the bullpen has been. 6 2/3 strong innings from Dylan Cease. 1 run given up. He threw 110 pitches, a season high. Padres got enough offense in this game. They got a couple of early RBI pieces of hitting, a fielder's choice with an RBI for Jake Cronenworth in the second, an RBI single for Luis Ariz to give him a 2-1 lead in the third. Then it stayed 2-1 all the way until the bottom half of the seventh inning, and that's when Fernando Tatis Jr. finally hit a home run, ending the longest home run drought of his career, both in games and plate appearances. His first home run since May 27th. Fernando rounding the bases as he got to first base. He put his hands out, looked towards the sky as to say thank you, and finally, and must have felt good for Fernando. A big home run for Fernando, and a big swing in this game. Went from a 2-1 lead to a 5-1 lead. Padres bullpen between Jeremiah Estrada and Adrian Morejon did the rest. With all that in mind, let's hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Before we hear from Mike Shildt, we did have some very, very sad news come down earlier today. Longtime baseball writer, an excellent writer, and somebody that we saw here in the press box at Petco Park all the time, Scott Miller, passed away. The Padres held a moment of silence for Scott before today's game, and Scott was just a tremendous man, so incredibly kind to me, a tremendous baseball writer. He will be dearly, dearly missed. I so enjoyed getting to know Scott Miller, and Mike Shildt spoke about Scott Miller to start his post-game remarks.
Hey, AJ, before we start, I think it's important we talk about Scott Miller, and condolences to his family. Gosh, man, what a really a brilliant writer, long time in the career, on the job, and just a real gentleman. So our Padres hearts go out to him and his family. Just a really professional, excellent writer that we lost today.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
To go to the game, you talked before the game about the importance of playing clean, sound, fundamental baseball, but to do that with a Fernando Tatis Jr. 3-run homer, I imagine it's a pretty good recipe.
Yeah, we had another ingredient, right? Ingredients have been pretty darn good in the sense of clean baseball. For the most part, really, really good on the bases, creating opportunities. Bat quality's been good. Pitchers are giving everything they've got, and just running a string of games where it doesn't been on the good side of the column. But today, more of the same. Started with Dylan. Thought it was fantastic. The defense was on point. Get to that later, but to your point, 3-run homer, man, that's a big swing. It felt pretty good, and our man's playing really good baseball, Toddy.
Seemed like a big swing. He kind of recognized in the moment, almost the body language said finally. Did you see that from him in kind of the way he acted after the home run?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was, question for him, but, it was probably a combination of things is what I felt, open it up for us, and then him, this is a guy that has done a lot of damage in his career and has put some really good at-bats together, but hadn't had anything to go out the ballpark more recently. And so I think it was a combination of things for him. Felt good.
How does Tatis change what this offense looks like on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, if we slug, it's going to help. I think that's no state secret, right? Toddy's a part of that. One of the things that I do believe is a byproduct of slug is approach and the approach is, when it's really good for us. And speaking of that, I've really appreciated our bat quality with runners in scoring position more recently. We haven't had as much to show for it, to my earlier point, but the quality is really good. And when we're doing the right things, typically guys are going to show up and hit for more power. These guys are experienced enough to pick their spots, pick their pitchers to say, okay, I'm going to take my shot at this. But for the most part, they stay within their approach, stay within themselves. I mean, these guys are, especially Toddy's, crazy pop. So, but yeah, ultimately the wrap up is our ability to put all these things we're doing together. And part of the recipe is to be able to drop the ball and be able to get, multiple runs on one swing. That's definitely a part of the recipe as well.
Can you walk us through the decision to send Cease out for the seventh? I think he was over 100 pitches.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the 100 pitch mark. I mean, we went past it. I don't know, and we survived. It looks like. I mean, there's a lot of layers to it. So give me a second to get through it all. So, first of all, we want to make sure we're getting what we can out of the starters and still being able to compete. And that's the balance of this. And Dylan stuff looked good. And we're in that spot where, yeah, he's right at 100. We know we're going to take him to two more guys. We're going to get him through Waters, who had some good at-bats against him, and Rave, and then be able to go to Estrada. Because at that point, we like Morihone in his lane, starting in Pasquantani. So couldn't do if we were in, which we're not, but if we'd gone back a couple of years and not in the 3-batter minimum era, we would have let him keep riding and given him India, and then kind of gone from there with Estrada to Morihone in the 8th to 9th. But anyway, that was the thought process, and ball was coming out good. It was going where he wanted. He was getting strong. So, also let's try to do what we can to take care of our bullpen.
Before the game, like it been kind of trending toward that way. I mean, where does this leave the left field situation for you? Is this Gavin's job for now?
Let's start with, talking about Jason Hayward. You're talking about, I'm not sure where his career is going to take him next. All I can do is tell you this. He has one of the most professional, quality players, humans I've ever been in contact with. You're talking about in all caps, pros pro. And what I would like to have associated with anybody's name, 2 things, or 3 things: class individual, complete pro, and great teammate. And then if you say that, and then the last one is this guy's just a stone cold winner, 2-time world champion, and has won ever since he's 8 years old. And, definitely moved our needles when he was here. And what a great career, and hopefully it could continue somewhere. I wish him all the best, and he's very, very well thought of by our clubhouse and me. I got a lot of respect for Jason. As far as the left field goes, I think we've shown that, and maybe tomorrow be different. There's another guy that potentially may come back tomorrow, named Merrill. But we're going to get medical clearance for that. And I know Jackson is excited about it. Shildt asking if he's going to go on a rehab assignment. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, Shilt's done a good job, made another nice play today. And he's taken the opportunity to give us the option to go play left field when it makes sense. And it's made sense quite a bit. And but speaking of defense, he made a nice play in the 4th. Iglesias, what a nice play in the 8th, especially on the off shot, lefty. And then Bogey, again, continues to play great shortstop. And Toddy makes a routine great play in the 5th. So good ball game.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 5-1 win for the Padres against the Kansas City Royals. Sam Levitt back with you inside Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. And you heard Mike Shildt talk about Jason Hayward there. If you missed it earlier today before the game, Padres had a number of moves, including designating Jason Hayward for assignment. They also activated Brian Hoeing, who did not appear in today's game. They optioned Sean Reynolds back down to AAA, but Jason Hayward, his time with the Padres has come to an end. Obviously had an oblique issue and then was down at AAA rehabbing, and instead of adding him back to the 26-man roster, Padres electing to designate Hayward for assignment. Certainly, I'll echo what Mike Shildt said there. Jason was really, really, really great to deal with. A total pro, going back to spring training and into the first couple of months of this season. I enjoyed talking to him and getting to know him a little bit. So certainly wish him the best. Pro's pro all the way around. And I thought Mike Shildt did a good job there talking about Jason Hayward. Mike Shildt also very nice words about Scott Miller, who we very, very sadly lost. Padres did a nice job today holding a moment of silence for Scott Miller earlier today. And once again, just passing along my condolences to Scott's family and friends. Such a good guy, and so great getting to know him. As far as the baseball, look, Fernando obviously had a big moment, and if he starts to get going and slugging, that's a really, really, really big deal for this team. Jackson Merrill, you heard it there from Mike Shildt. If he comes back tomorrow, that's a big ad. Padres could use Jackson. He's eligible to come off the 7-day concussion IL tomorrow. He was out there on the field today, taking batting practice, working in the field with the glove work as well. So you would assume, based on what Mike said, that there's a chance that he comes back tomorrow. They've got to get medical clearance for that, like Mike said, but it certainly sounds like it's in the realm of possibility that Jackson will be available when he's eligible to come off the IL tomorrow. So hopefully for the Padres, he's ready to go tomorrow. And look, right now, from a left field standpoint, especially with the news that Hayward's not coming back to the Padres, it looks right now like it's Gavin Sheets almost every day out there. Now, Sheets has done the last couple of weeks, I think, a nice job defensively in left field. But I'll tell you this, at the plate, Gavin Sheets has been so good. Here today, he's not going to have a ton to show for it, but I thought Gavin Sheets just had some terrific at-bats against the left-hander Cameron today. He had a double that helped score a run in the second inning. He had a deep fly ball to the warning track in the third. He had a deep fly ball to the warning track in the sixth inning. And the at-bats he had against the left-hander Cameron, it just seems like Gavin Sheets is getting more and more comfortable against left-handers. I thought his at-bats today were terrific. And again, double and scored a run in the second to get the scoring started for the Padres. In this one, Tatis says the big swing late. Padres find enough offense, and the pitching today was excellent. Dylan Cease, 6 2/3 innings, 1 run given up. Jeremiah Estrada, Adrian Morejon with a combined 2 innings and a third scoreless out of the pen. We'll step aside. We'll come back with more. If you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call. Again, 833-288-0973. The phone number to dial. Our post-game coverage continues from Petco Park after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres win it 5-1 against the Kansas City Royals. We'll have our relief pitcher of the game coming up in a little bit. We'll also have our full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll get you ready for the series finale rubber game of this three-game set between the Padres and Royals tomorrow afternoon here at Petco Park. Phone number to call, 833-288-0973. If you want to get involved, 833-288-0973. Let's go to the phones. We lead things off on this Saturday evening. We go to Eric calling in. Eric, you're on the Padres Radio Network with Sam Levitt. What's up?
Hey, Sam. Yeah, much needed, right? Tatis and Dylan Cease, two of our, key players here on the roster. I know Tatis, you mentioned, hadn't hit a home run in a minute. Dylan Cease, struggling with his ERA. And then he did have a high pitch count today. Kept the strikeouts low. He relied on his defense, which I thought was really well. And another thing, Sam, the Padres managed to keep a lead. They've blown 24 leads this year, which was equal to all of last year. So they managed to hold the lead, come out with the win, and then, like we all know, go for the rubber game tomorrow.
Yeah, good call, Eric, and appreciate you listening. Appreciate you calling in. Look, Dylan Cease was really good today. He was. 110 pitches. They really pushed him. 6 2/3 innings, 1 run given up, gave up the run on the RBI double to Rave in the third. But really, aside from that, didn't deal with a ton of trouble today. Dealt with 2 on in the 4th inning, but got out of it after that. A 1-2-3 5th, worked around a 2-out walk in the 6th inning, 1-2-3. Or I should say got the first 2 outs of the 7th inning. So he was really, really good today. And look, the Padres for a while in this game, they're leading 2-1 for a while after the Arias RBI single in the 3rd. You're kind of sitting there wondering, okay, are you going to be able to hold on to a 2-1 lead and have this be the final score? And luckily, Fernando comes up in a huge spot and essentially puts the game away and also takes some pressure off the Padres bullpen, which is important. This bullpen has been heavily used, and Fernando gave him some breathing room. Great job today by the Padres bullpen. And speaking of the bullpen, let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
1-0 from Morejon. Big crowd on their feet here in San Diego. And the pitch grounded up the middle under Morejon's glove. Backhanded by Cronenworth on the outfield grass. Long throw to first is in time. And that's all for the Royals here in the 9th. Padres flashing some serious leather in the late innings. And they got a tremendous outing from Dylan Cease. And a big home run from Fernando Tatis Jr. to put a bow on a 5-1 win over the Royals here in Game 2. A satisfying victory to set up a rubber game here tomorrow afternoon.
Adrian Morejon is our relief pitcher of the game. Adrian with an inning and 2/3 scoreless here today. He was really good. He lowers his ERA to 2.23. Morejon was very efficient as well. He got 5 outs on 16 pitches in this game, 10 strikes, and a nice job. Finished up the 8th inning and then got through the 9th inning. 1-2-3 inning and 2/3 scoreless today for Adrian Morejon. That's after Jeremiah Estrada came in and got a couple outs in this game. Got the first out of this, or I should say the final out of the 7th inning, and got the first out of the 8th inning. But great job by Morejon. He was he 5 up, 5 down today? He was 5 up, 5 down, inning and 2/3 scoreless. Morejon also got helped out by his defense. Let's hear today's catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
0-2. Witt leading at second base. Bogart's trying to keep him honest. And the pitch to Pasquantino, grounded sharply to third. Iglesias has it falling down. Gets up, throws to first in time. What a play by Candelita. And we'll hang a star for Jose Iglesias. 2 down here in the 8th inning. And boy, what a play at the hot corner.
Outstanding play by Jose Iglesias on a ball that was hit by Vinny Pasquantino at 105 off the bat. And he made a great backhanded diving stop, then off balance, kind of nearly falling down backwards through a one-hop strike to Luis Ariz at first base. It was an outstanding play by Jose Iglesias. Cantalita, 105 off the bat from Vinny Pasquantino. And that was certainly our catch of the game. One of the finer defensive plays I think we've seen this season from the Padres. That's how good it was for Iglesias playing third base today. Manny Machado DHing, getting a day off his feet. And when you put Jose Iglesias out there, I don't think and again, Manny's terrific at third base. We know that. I don't think you'll lose a ton defensively with Jose out there. He's that good at multiple positions. Very, very smooth and a great play for our catch of the game. If you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973. The phone number, again, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we'll continue to break down this ball game. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game, wrap things up, get you ready for tomorrow. Much more to do on our post-game coverage. We continue after this.
Just walk in, I make you
Our Jamul
smile.
Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Our postgame coverage is always brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres beat the Kansas City Royals 5-1. Fernando Tatis Jr. hitting a big 3-run home run in the bottom half of the seventh inning. His first home run in a long time, kind of an amazingly long time. First home run since May. Give me a second here. I lost where it is. May 27th against the Marlins. So nearly a month ago, May 27th. And in fact, it was Fernando's longest home run drought of his career by both plate appearances. He went 98 plate appearances between home runs and games with 22. His previous high in games as far as a home run drought was 17. So this was by far and away the longest home run drought of his career. And you could tell it took some weight off his shoulders after he hit it. He was heading to first base and he put his arms out and looked towards the sky as to say, finally, and thank you. And big 3-run home run gave the Padres plenty of breathing room. Dylan Cease, the other big story in this game, 6 2/3 strong innings, just 1 run given up. Very nice performance on 110 pitches today for Dylan Cease. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Finals from around the major leagues. Mets beat the Phillies 11-4 in Philadelphia. 15 hits for the Mets, including back-to-back home runs by Francisco Lindor, Brandon Nimmo, and Juan Soto. 11-4. Mets win it in Philadelphia today. Braves beat the Marlins 7-0 in Miami. Giants beat the Red Sox 3-2 in San Francisco. The Rangers beat the Pirates 3-2 in Pittsburgh. Blue Jays over the White Sox 7-1 in Toronto. Cubs beat the Mariners 10-7 in Chicago. Cardinals beat the Reds 6-5 in 11 in St. Louis. It was the Brewers over the Twins 9-0 in Minnesota. Yankees beat the Orioles 9-0 in New York. Rays beat the Tigers 8-3 in Tampa Bay. We have games going on right now. Diamondbacks ahead of the Rockies 5-3 in Colorado in the 6th inning. Angels lead the Astros 7-1 in Anaheim in the 4th inning. Guardians lead the A's 4-0 in Sacramento in the 2nd. Nationals and the Dodgers are scoreless in LA in the 3rd. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Saturday across the major leagues. Once again, final score here today, Padres 5 and the Royals 1. Let's hear today's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
1-0, and Fernando hits it in the air to deep left field. Rave is back at the wall, looking up, gonna go! 3-run homer for Fernando Tatis Jr. His 14th of the season and the first one in a long time. As Tatis gives the Pods some late inning breathing room, it is now 5-1.
Fernando Tatis Jr., that 3-run blast in the bottom half of the 7th inning, our play of the game. No doubt about it here today. Fernando needed it, and if that is what can get Fernando going, well, that is a very good piece of news for the Padres. In fact, it was the subject of our What to Watch For segment in the pregame today, right? We said it. We were looking at Fernando, who had taken an offer in a few consecutive games, and we were looking at it saying, man, is this going to be Fernando after he showed some serious signs of breaking out of the slump? Is this Fernando now going back into it? And today he finally hits a home run, also had a walk in this game. So hopefully a sign of things to come for Fernando, because when Fernando is swinging the bat really, really well, not only is it very, very important for this team, but he's quite simply one of the best players in the game. And big swing for Fernando in that 7th inning. All right, taking a look ahead to tomorrow. Good pitching matchup tomorrow here in downtown San Diego for the finale of this 3-game series. It'll be the rubber game of this 3-game set. Right-hander and former Padre Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals tomorrow. Right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres. First pitch tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. Our pregame coverage will begin at 12:10. Seth Lugo having a really nice season once again. Remember, he was really good with the Padres in 2023. He then basically parlayed that into a contract with the Royals. and really has been good as a Royal. A 3 ERA, an all-star appearance in 2024. He's got a 3.05 ERA in 13 appearances so far this season. If you missed our pregame conversation with his teammate and also former Padre, Michael Wacha, earlier today, I'm going to post it a little bit later tonight on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast feed. It was a really good conversation with Michael Wacha, not only about his time with the Royals, but his 2023 season with the Padres and working with Ruben Niebla, and also just being with Seth Lugo for a while now. Lugo and Wacha were on the Mets in 2022. They were on the Padres together in 2023, and now members of the Kansas City Royals together. So a good interview, good catching up with Michael Wacha earlier today. He's not going to pitch in this series, but again, Seth Lugo will. He'll make the start for Kansas City tomorrow against Randy Vasquez. Speaking of that Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on that Inside San Diego Baseball podcast feed, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. Taking a look at the final totals here today for the Padres: 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They left on 4. For the Royals, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. They left on 7. Winning pitcher today, 6 2/3 strong innings for Dylan Cease. He improves to 3 6. Noah Cameron takes the loss. He drops to 2 3. Time of game, 2 hours and 34 minutes. And the crowd at Petco Park here in San Diego, 43,241, the 31st sellout of 2025. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 1:10. Pregame coverage from Petco Park begins at 12:10. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Nick Danucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night. Once again, the final score here tonight, the San Diego Padres 5 and the Kansas City Royals 1. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday.